Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Ramadan series 1446, brought to you by Tawasaw Institute, about your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In last year episodes, we talked about the as-sirat al-mustaqim, the straight path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We defined stations and stops. And this, to answer this question, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create us? In Al-Quran Al-Kareem, it gives you two answers: the purpose and the job and the role. The purpose of our creation is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we explained that we get to know Allah through His creation. We get to know Allah through His book, Al-Quran Al-Kareem. We get to know Allah through the daily destiny that we go through, our life story, our life events. Allah communicates with us through these events. And that's how we end up having an active relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To know Allah, and based on that knowledge, to make a choice. And that's when a person, after we read and know, we say, I bear witness that there is no God but one God. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his final prophet and messenger. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. This is the testimony of faith. Based on knowledge, you make choice. And based on that choice, you follow it with submission. That's why the first step in Islam is to know Allah. It's a relationship. How can you establish a relationship with someone that you don't know? That's impossible. And that's why every Muslim has to stop and answer the question, what did I see? What did I witness that made me say I bear witness? How can I establish a relationship with Allah? Did I invest enough time and energy in knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And that's why on this journey, when we look at knowing Allah, I want to explore with you and to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to us about Himself. Allah wants us to see Him as Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. That He's our Lord, meaning the one who created us, cherished us, sustained us, gave us parents, grew us, guided us, protected us. This is your Lord. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be your king, that you obey His laws. When He says, do not kill, do not steal, do not cheat, do not lie, do not rob, do not destroy your life or the life of the people around you, or the lives of the creation around you on the planet, you abide by that, because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you for, this awareness. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to learn about Him, get to know Him, then we choose Him, then that moves to two dimensions. Establishing a relationship with Him, we call it worship. That's where the 5 pillars of Islam lie. To obey Him subhanahu wa ta'ala and obey His laws. So that's why how we see Allah and how Allah wants us to see Him and see His role in our daily lives, as Allah is our Lord. So you got a guardian, you got a caretaker, you got a Lord, for God's sake. Don't walk around like you don't have a Lord. Don't live like you don't have an unlimited resource. They say the reason for stress is when the perceived demand exceeds the perceived resource. How can the perceived demand exceed the perceived resource when your resource is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's why Allah is your Rabb, then Allah is your King. You obey His laws, then Allah is your God. You worship no one but Him. The word ilah is always associated with worship. My dear brothers and sisters, this is how we establish our relationship with Allah, proper relationship. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَهِ النَّاسِ. Based on that, we fulfill the purpose, and then we move on from the purpose, which is to know Allah, to love Allah, to worship Allah, and to obey Allah. Inshallah, on the next episode, we will explore the topic of loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As many times it's not covered, and we only talk about the worship or the obedience, but neither the worship or obedience will count if it's not founded in knowledge and in love and in devotion. We are Allah's devotees. We're Allah's dedicated servants. And it's better happen with passion and with love and with recognition to this amazing relationship that we have access to. May Allah Azza wa Jal inspire us. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala abdika wa nabiyyika Muhammad. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.